Feeling trapped?
Yes!
Can't stop dying?
No!
Feeling outranked?
Fucking asshole.
Tired of being bad?
I am. I'm not bad, I'm getting spawn killed!
Low MMR getting you no CSR?
I'm getting spawn killed.
Feeling useless?
Yes!
Having a sense crisis?
I'm having a walking forward crisis.
Having trouble getting up in CSR?
Yes?
Want to be a champion?
Yes!
Well, then stay tuned. When you think of the game type SWAT, what is one thing that comes to mind? Spawn trapping. Naturally, SWAT has one of the biggest stigmas like, oh, it's all spawn trapping or spawn camping. Well, this is because of how vulnerable you are in SWAT. Having no shields makes you very prone to being spawn killed and then eventually spawn trapped. One of the most likely reasons why you are getting spawn killed is because of lack of communication. This is why playing solo can be really difficult as you are unable to inform your teammates you need help. If you can't get that help, well, the biggest reason for spawn killing is simply being outmatched. It's up to you to have that awareness and outshoot or maneuver the enemy spawn killer off spawn. Well, of course we could talk all day about how to avoid getting spawn killed in every unique position. So we'll start with 5 tips to avoid getting spawn killed. First and foremost, thrust. Thrusting off spawn might be the easiest and best way to avoid the most gruesome spawn traps where the enemy team has a brutal spawn trap with their sightlines to the point of having their crosshairs ready to peel. In this case, thrusting can help. Throw their sightline off by thrusting off spawn and dancing away from those bullets. Jump. If you instantly jump off spawn, you might be able to get your head out of harm's way. Tip number 3, calling out. Calling out the enemy to your teammate is usually the go-to. Hypercommunication and small talk can break spawn traps. Communicating with your teammates that the enemies are in position can force teamwork to get a pick and then execute the push out of the trap by strategically pushing the X of the dead spawn killer. Tip number 4 is awareness. When you are in that spawn timer, think about the sightline they have and try to be unpredictable or pre-aim off spawn at the enemy. Higher level SWAT players will typically mentally put themselves in the shoes of the enemy spawn killer and react accordingly. Knowing the weapon you're running with is also beneficial. Tip number 5, probably the most obvious one, knowledge and experience. The more you play it, the better you get. I know this is cheesy, but it's so important to know that every spawn trap is different. Some spawn traps are more annoying, like getting pinned bottom snipe on plaza or carbine on the rig. Some are more forgiving, like getting spawn trapped on red or blue stairs on mercy. The more experience you get spawn trapping or getting spawn killed, likely the better time you'll have preventing and strategizing a exit route. Now, I feel dirty doing this, but let's do it anyways. 5 tips to help you get those spawn traps. Tip number 1, know your weapon. Spawn killing can come a lot easier if you know the strengths of your weapon. For example, the spread of the H2BR is very helpful in range and pre-aiming. If you're using the H5 mag, maybe you want to get a little bit of elevation or a closer sight line. Tip number 2, rolls. A good setup can be put into place if you have someone anchoring, which means someone is sitting back to ensure that they don't spawn behind you and are blocking spawns. Get those rolls out for your team. Tip number 3 is 3 corners. Aim to block 3 corners of the map with a buffer ready to fill in any spot where a teammate just died. For example, have someone red and blue computers and have someone Hydra to force a blue closet spawn on stasis. Or, on the rig, force them carbine by having 1 bunker, 1 yellow corner, and 1 nest. Tip number 4 is timing. Count in your head the respawn times, which is 3 seconds in SWAT, and pay close attention to the kill feed. Timing is everything. Be unpredictable is tip number 5. Don't be afraid to keep that spawner guessing by switching your sightlines with different positioning. For example, check out this clip on Echelon. Honestly, we could go into more detail and talk about spawn trapping all day. It's one of the core mechanics of Halo and SWAT. Let me know what you guys think, and if you have any spawn trap tips and tricks to execute or avoid them, comment below. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, click that red subscribe button to get notified on more videos. Peace!